I've never told this story to anyone before. Every time I even think about it, my hands start to shake. Just like they are right now. What happened to me that night. It still follows me. No matter where I go, no matter how much time passes. It was supposed to be a simple job. Just a few weeks of house sitting for an elderly couple, the Martins, while they visited their grandkids overseas. They were sweet, left me a detailed list of instructions and a fridge stocked with food. The house itself was old, but charming. One of those two-story places with creaky floorboards and a big overgrown garden out back. It felt peaceful. A perfect little escape from the city was completely normal. I watered the plants. I collected the mail. And spent my evenings binge-watching shows. The only odd thing was a fluffy Persian named Jasper. He was friendly enough, but he had a strange habit. He'd often sit at the bottom of the main staircase, sit at the bottom, the one leading up to the second floor, and just stare. He wouldn't meow or try to go up. He'd just sit there, fixated on the dark landing. I just figured it was a weird cat. I'd try to coax him away. He'd always end up back in the same spot a few hours later. It was on the 8th night that things started to feel wrong. I was in the kitchen making a late snack when I heard it. A faint sound from upstairs. It sounded like a marble dropping on a hardwood floor. Plink. Roll. 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 Stop. I froze, listening. The house was old, I told myself. It settles. Houses make noises. I tried to shake it off, finished my sandwich and went back to the living room. But a new feeling had crept in. A quiet, prickling sense of unease. I kept glancing up at the ceiling, expecting to hear something else. The silence that followed was somehow louder than the noise had been. As I was getting ready for bed in the downstairs guest room, I heard it again. This time it was clearer. This time it was not one marble, but several. Plink, 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 plink. Plink, plink, plink. It sounded like a handful of them had scattering across the floor of the master bedroom, directly above my heart. I turned off the TV, straining to hear just the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. I called out, hello. My voice sounded small, quiet and shaky in the quiet house. No response. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the pipes. But the sound was so distinct. Deliberate. I couldn't bring myself to go upstairs. I locked the guest room door. Something I hadn't done before. Crawled into bed and pulling the covers up to my chin. Didn't come easily. Every creak of the house made sometime in the deep of the night. I was woken up by Jasper. He was scratching frantically at my door, letting out these low guttural yowls I'd never heard him make before. I let him in. And he immediately dove under the bed. That's when I knew. I wasn't just being paranoid. Something was wrong. Something was wrong. I was exhausted. And I spent the whole day with the lights on. Even with the bright sun streaming through the windows. I avoided the staircase, but the feeling of being watched was constant. It felt like a weight on my shoulders. A pair of eyes on the back of my neck. I kept looking over my shoulder. Expecting to see someone in the doorway. A shadow in the corner of my eye. But there was never anything there. Just an empty room. Heavy stillness of the house. That night, I decided I'd had enough. I was going to sleep on the couch in the living room, right by the front door. I felt safer there. I gathered my pillows and a blanket, made a little nest, and put on a movie, trying to distract myself. Jasper refused to leave the guest room. I remember checking the time around midnight. The movie was ending, and a drowsy sense of calm was finally starting to settle over me. Maybe it was all in my head. Maybe last night was just a combination of a strange noise and a spooked cat. And then I heard a whisper. It was so close. It felt like it was right beside my ear. It wasn't a word, just a sound. A soft, airy exhale. Whew. My blood ran cold. I shot up, my heart hammering against my ribs. The room was dark, lit only by the faint blue light of the TV screen. I scanned every corner, every shadow. Nothing. I grabbed my phone, my fingers fumbling with the flashlight button. I swept the beam of light across the living room, the dining room, the kitchen entrance. Empty. All the windows were locked. The front door was deadbolted. I was alone. I had to be. But the whisper came again, this time, from the top of the stairs. It was a name. My name. Anna. It was a child's voice, a little girl. It was quiet, curious, not menacing at all, and that somehow made it 1,000 times more terrifying. My breath hitched in my throat. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I was just frozen on the couch, staring into the pitch-black void of the upstairs landing. Every horror movie instinct was screaming at me to run, to get out of the house. But my body wouldn't obey. A shape slowly began to form in the darkness. Began to form in the darkness at the top of the stairs. It was the size of a child. The size of a child. It wasn't a clear figure. It wasn't a clear figure. More like the air was thicker there. More like the air was thicker into a silhouette. Coalescing into a silhouette against the deeper black behind it. It didn't move. It didn't move. It just stood there. It just stood and there. I knew with a certainty that chilled me to my very soul. That it was watching me. That it was watching me. The little girl's voice came again. The little girl's voice came again. This time. Closer. As if she'd taken a step down. As if she'd taken a step down. Want to play? Want to play? That's what broke the spell. I scrambled off the couch, tripping over the coffee table in my panic. I didn't grab my keys, my wallet, nothing. I just fumbled with the deadbolt, my hands shaking so badly it took 3 tries to turn it. The whole time I didn't dare look back. I could feel its eyes on me. I could feel the cold radiating down the stairs. The moment the lock clicked open, I threw the door open and ran. I ran out into the cold night air, and I didn't stop running until I was blocks away, standing under the sterile, safe glow of a streetlight, gasping. I never went back. I called the Martins from a payphone the next day, crying, making up a story about a family emergency. I couldn't tell them the truth. How could I? They came home to find the house. The TV on. And my things still in the guest rooms, still in the guest room. They never mentioned anything unusual. They never mentioned anything unusual. They just asked if I could mail their house key back. That was years ago. But it never left me. Sometimes late at night, when the house is quiet, I can still hear it. I can still hear a faint whisper of my name. A faint whisper of my name. I have to sleep with the lights on. I can't be in a 2-story house by myself. The sound of a marble, dropping on the floor, sends a wave of pure panic. The worst part is the not knowing. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it wanted. I don't know what it wanted. I only know that for one night. I only know that I was not alone in that house. I was not alone in that house. And whatever was there with me. Is still there. If you felt chills while listening to this, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Like this video, if you believe that some things just can't be subscribed. If you want to hear more true stories that will keep you up at night, and comment below if you've ever experienced something you can't explain. Because the truth is, not believing in the supernatural won't protect you. Sometimes it just means you haven't noticed it's already watching you.